All right, what's going on? We're back with Yokai Watch 3. We are doing an analysis of every single Heartful yokai in the game. Um, Now, you're probably wondering, why would we start with Heartful yokai? Um, if we're going to go chronologically through the medallion, it starts with Brave. So, the thing with this is I'm doing all this research based on what progress I actually have in the game, and I actually have all the Heartful yokai already, and I'm still missing some from the other tribes, and the others are version exclusives. So we're gonna go with this. So we're just starting with Heartful because it's the easiest to do right now. Here's the criteria for how we are going to be ranking all the Heartful yokai. I have a tier list set up on another tab, so we'll also be putting the yokai on those tier lists. So we are abiding by competitive rules, which means a maximum of 2 S rank yokai, a maximum of 2 A rank yokai, and unlimited yokai for B rank and below. So that will factor into our ranking because you can't just put 6 S ranks on your team, right? S rank and A rank spots are limited, so we'll be ranking S ranks and A ranks a bit more diligently based on that. So, like, if we see an S rank, we'll be like, would we actually want to put this on our team? Or an A rank, would we actually want to put this on our team? And every other yokai, we don't really care because we can have as many of them as we want. So, what role does the yokai serve based off their stats and moveset, and how well do they serve it? So, what that means is we're going to be going through a lot of healers today. So, let's say we have a pretty basic healer, but the only healing move is their Sultimate. So, that's not a very good healer, right? Because basically what you'd want from a healer at least is you'd want their technique to be a healing move. You'd want their Sultimate to have something to do with healing, and you'd want their Inspirit to have something to do with healing as well, right? That is pretty much the de facto healer, right? That's what we want to see in all our healers. So if they don't really meet that too well, then we'll see. How attainable are they? So it's not like Pokemon where there's a website just for competitive battling. If you just wanted to have fun with it. But also, like, if you were actually playing competitively in game, you'd need to, like, get those Pokemon, right? And pretty much every single Pokemon is pretty easy to get unless they're version exclusive. You just go where they spawn and you catch them, right? Yokai Watch, there's no website for competitive battling. It all happens in the game. So you need to be able to get that yokai first. And in Yokai Watch, there are a lot more steps to getting certain yokai, and sometimes it can be pretty long and pretty difficult. And all yokai will be judged based on their stats at level 60. So every single stat and base power you'll see here is them at level 60. Also, one little thing I have to note, since this is coming from my personal file in game, I've used some of these yokai on the list already, so some of their levels may be some of the base powers for their moves may be estimated, or it'll be at max level already, and I denote in my slides when that happens. One thing we have to go over, the irrelevance rule. Okay, so I've come up with this rule while I was making this. If an evolution or recolor of another yokai is too similar or exactly the same, has better stats, and fills the same role, it will be deemed irrelevant. Okay, so what does this mean? So why did I come up with this rule in the first place? So the reason I came up with this rule is because, like, I'm just kind of thinking logically here. If you have an evolution of a yokai that is better than another version of a yokai, like, why would you use the lesser version of the yokai if it's essentially the exact same yokai again, right? And it could be, now there could be, like, we can have some discussion about this because there are instances in Pokemon where an unevolved form of a Pokemon is better than its evolved version of it. Like Dusclops is a popular example. Dusclops is usually better than Dusknoir because of the Eviolite item. So there aren't too many instances of that in this game, but there are items that promote the growth more of lower ranked yokai. Well, not the growth, but like they help the stats of lower ranked yokai more, right? A popular item is the Paradise Ball, which can be used for any yokai B rank and below and increases their defense and speed by 30 points. So it can be something to consider, but usually if this happens, I mean, I'm not too worried about it. But we can still discuss and, I'll think about it a little. Okay, welcome to the Heartful tribe. We have 80 yokai to get through. It's going to be a bit of a long one, so let's get right into it. First up, we have Palisol. He is an E rank. His HP stat is at 214. His strength is at 50. His spirit is at 93. His defense is at 71. His speed is 99. So, if you don't know, the ranking system in Yokai Watch goes from E being the worst all the way to S being the best. So E, D, C, B, A, and S. All right. Since these are Heartful Tribe, we're going to be mostly looking at the Spirit stat, but there will be times where we'll have to look at the Strength stat. Defense generally stays around this number, but it could be lower. And speed is also an important stat. All right, so his ability. This is his skill. They're pretty much like abilities in Pokemon. So he has Sun Shield, deflects some technique damage when guarding, and he has one item slot. This pretty much does not change throughout the entire, like all the yokai we'll be going through have one item slot, but it's just here for some special cases, and we'll be seeing those in other videos. But for now, I'm not going to talk about it because every yokai on this list has one item slot. Okay, his attacks, Pesky Poke, which is the physical, has a base power of 30. His technique, Whirlwind, has a base power of 30. And Umbrella Gust, which is his ultimate, has a base power of 86. And its area of effect is a plus shape without the middle. So on the enemy boards, it's going to be, it's a 9x9 grid. So it'll be like a plus shape, and then just get rid of the tile in the middle, so it's not going to hit the center tile. I know it's a little hard to envision without a visual, but And his in spirit is undercover, and it gives a defense boost. Okay. So what do we think about Palisol here? Well, I mean, he's a pretty basic yokai, right? I'm not too sure what his role is because he doesn't do any healing, right? I mean, it seems like he's just a basic special attacker. His best stat is spirit, so you'd want to associate that with whirlwind. And then I'm pretty sure Umbrella Gust has the wind element. And how easy is Palisol to get? I mean, he's an encounter in an alleyway in the Harrisville Station Plaza. Nothing too special. He's pretty easy to get. Okay, here we are at the tier list. There are a lot of ads on screen, but that's all right. We have all. Oh, hello. Some of them are missing. That's okay. We have a lot of yokai to go through. So, where is Palisol? There he is. Okay, Palisol. So, what are we thinking here? I mean, I don't know. I'd probably give him like he's not bad, but I'd probably give him like a C tier for now. We're gonna be chilling at a C tier. Where is he? Dude. Oh, there he is. Okay. We'll give him a C tier for now. There he is. Next up, we have Bumblejack here. All right. So, he is a rank E. His HP sits at 253. His strength is 65. Spirit is 92. Defense is 122, which is pretty good. And his speed is 35. His ability is Earth Play, which boosts Earth damage for all yokai. Now, some of the wording of these ultimates, or not ultimates, abilities, you want to be careful with. Because all yokai, it means it goes both ways. So, like, it may also boost. Jesus. It may also boost damage for the opposite team, right? So if they have yokai that have an earth element to them, you're not going to know that going into your battle, or you may not know it going into your battle, but just be careful with stuff like this. All right, his attacks are full swing. It has a base power of 60, likely to miss. His technique is Pebble 30, which does have the earth element, so his ability will boost his own attack. His ultimate is Probing Cure, which has a base power of 30 and restores allies' HP, then gradually keeps restoring it. So basically, what that means is you'll get an instant health boost, and then it will inspirit everyone so that their HP keeps restoring like over time. And his inspirit is Get Lookin', which will cause a yokai on the opposite team to act less. All right. So I think I like Bumblejack a little more than Palisol. He does have a healing ultimate, but that almost seems like a secondary effect to being a Heartful tribe, because I feel like the main attraction here is that he has better special attacking utility than Palisol does, and he has a better defense stat, and I think he has a better spirit stat as well. Okay, Bumblejack. So I think I'm gonna put Bumblejack above Palisol for now. All right, our next yokai is In Tune. So In Tune is an E rank with an HP stat of 196, a strength of 36, a spirit of 116, which is pretty good, a defense of 61, and a speed of 113, which also is pretty good. Its ability is Prayer, which gradually restores HP for linked allies. Okay, so you have a 3x3 board, right? And basically what linking your allies means is if two of your yokai are standing next to each other, let's say horizontally for now, they will link together and they can perform combo attacks. So if one of the yokai attacks, the yokai next to it will pitch in with a smaller attack that won't do too much damage, but it's still something, right? And you can also link them vertically, so the yokai in front is going to absorb all the damage, and the yokai in the back won't get hurt most of the time. Or can't be targeted either. Alright? So that's what linking up means. Alright, now their attacks. Body Bash with a base power of 20. It may knock an enemy back a tile, which, not super useful since their spirit stat is what we're focusing on here. They have a heal with a base power of 30. Their ultimate is Harmonic Heals with a base power of 60. It cures allies' fatigue and restores HP, which is pretty good. And Harmonic Healing gradually restores HP. So for an E rank, Intune is a pretty good healer so far, right? Like this is our first actual healer of the list so far. They are an E rank, which does limit them a little bit, but prestigious treasures do exist. I don't see why you'd want to boost them to an A rank or an S rank, but you could boost them all the way to a B rank. So yes, prestigious treasures are also an item we will be taking into account. Basically, what it does is it raises a yokai's rank by 1. You can't lower it though. So you could use a prestigious treasure to get them all the way to B rank and still give them a paradise ball, and it won't take up one of your S or A rank slots. So this is probably like an actual healer. Okay. Let me find Palisol or Intune. There's Intune. Okay, where are we gonna put them? So they're definitely going above these two. But again, they are an E rank. But also, once again, you get him up with some prestigious treasures. So I think we'll give him a low B rank for the time being. Next, we have Watson. All right. So they have an E rank. Their HP stat is also 196. They have a strength of 86, a spirit of 82, defense of 50, and a speed of 109. And their ability is Greed, which makes a foe more likely to drop items. Now, this ability only works after battle when you're fighting wild yokai. You're not going to get any item drops in a competitive battle. This skill is completely useless. We don't care, right? So that's already some points down for Watson. Like, they don't have a good skill. And also, it's worth noting their strength is higher than their spirit stat. That's also worth noting. All right, their attacks, their physical is slap with a base power of 30. They have a shock technique, which does 30 base power. And their ultimate is Envious Hand, which is a base power of 67. And it drains foes' HP and shares it with allies. And it hits the back 2 rows. And their in spirit is Envy. Now, don't be worried. This doesn't mean I don't know what it does. There's a status called like Confusion, or like I don't know, like it's I don't know. It's like a confusion type jinx, and it hits the enemy, and it makes it so sometimes they'll hit their teammates. So it can be useful, but on Wanson, I mean, I don't know what it's doing. Also, draining foes' HP and sharing it with allies. Now, it sounds good. It's like a lot of stuff in Yokai Watch 3. It sounds too good to be true, right? Like, oh, it's not a perfect 1-to-1 ratio, right? You're gonna drain more HP than you're gonna heal, right? So I think the ratio is about, in practice, I want to say it's about 3-to-1. So you're gonna drain 3 times the HP, then you'll heal. So like it's definitely not exact, but I think it's something like that. So like if you hit them for 60, you're gonna heal 20, right? So as a healer, not very useful. Their strength stat is higher than their spirit, and honestly, I don't know what that's doing. It just seems like they get a random technique. So this is probably going to be the first yokai we're going to give a big fat D. Not very good. All right, next up we have Grub Snitch, which is a recolor of Onsen. Their rank is D, so they have a higher rank as our first D rank. An HP stat of 216. Their strength is 84. Their spirit is 74. Their defense is 53. Their speed is 123. All right. So again, a higher strength stat than a spirit stat. Their ability is Snitch, which absorbs foes' HP with physical attacks. Okay, so what that means is their physical attack is Slap with a base power of 30. So if they hit an enemy with that Slap attack, they will restore some HP for themselves. It doesn't work on anyone else. So as mentioned, their physical is Slap. Their technique is Rock Slide with a base power of 50. And their ultimate is Grub Stealer, which is essentially the same thing. Drains HP, shares up with allies, back 2 rows. And Gluttony, they're in spirit. It does tick damage. So basically, if they inspirit an enemy on the other team, it's going to do some gradual damage over time. Okay. So already, I like Grub Snitch a lot more than Watson. Does it hit the irrelevance rule though? I mean, I'm gonna say no on this one because they're in spirits are a bit different, and Grub Snitch has an ability that actually works. It'll do something for her. So I'm gonna say this does not hit the irrelevance rule. Okay, here we are. Tier list. Where's Grub Snitch? There she is. Okay, definitely better than Watson. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the draining and sharing ultimates. I'm gonna put Grub Snitch below Bumblejack. Okay, next we have Wiglin. Alright, Wiglin, our little seabead friend here, is a rank E with an HP stat of 224, strength of 92, a spirit of 107, a defense of 49, and speed of 79. They have a wavy body, which means they dodge attacks like you would not believe. That's what it actually says in the game. So, I think what this means is there's 2 different versions of this. There's two different versions of this ability. There's dodges attacks like you wouldn't believe, and dodges techniques like you wouldn't believe. So I'm inclined to believe that this ability only works for physical attacks, but I can't say for sure. All right, for attacks, they have physical, they have the slap, they have a heal, and their ultimate is Wiggling Wave, which boosts defense for all allies. And then their in spirit is Healthy Wakami, which greatly boosts strength for their allies. So this is a charm. Um, they can boost the strength of their allies greatly. I don't know how much a great boost is. There's like different tiers of boost. There's like a regular boost, a slight boost, a great boost, and then an ultra boost. Something like that. So, Wiglin here. Wiglin can heal, but he's also good at support, which is good, right? I don't know how useful Wiglin would be, but he has a nice little niche. So, all right. There's Wiglin. All right. I think I'm going to put Wiglin above Bumblejack here. All right. Next up, we have Kelpicabana, Wiglin's evolution. Kelpicabana is a rank C, our first one so far, with an HP stat of 264, a strength of 111, a spirit of 120, a defense of 46, and spirit of 89. So, some solid stats. Their ability is Seaweed Samba, which boosts strength slightly for linked yokai. So a free strength boost if your yokai are slightly linked up. Their attacks are Smackdown, 25, which has a base power of 25 for 2 hits. So this doesn't mean 50. It means it's going to hit twice. So it'll hit this many times with this base power for each hit. All right. And that also does not mean the damage for both hits are the same. So their technique is Paradise, which is the highest tier healing move in the game. There's Heal, which has 30, Restore, which has a base power of 50, and then Paradise, which has 70. There's 3 tiers for every technique in the game. So nice little note there. Their ultimate is Seaweed Carnival, which will inspire allies so that their HP gradually restores. And then their in spirit is Dance Party, which will boost all stats for an ally. All right. So Kelpicabana is pretty good. You know, he has some decent stats. He has a nice little ability, and he has some decent support and healing ability. Now, does he make Wiglin irrelevant? It's a bit difficult, but I'm honestly gonna say no, because even though this is Wiglin's evolution. Whoa, hi Wiglin. It's like he popped up. He's like, don't do it, don't do it. So I definitely think Kelpicabana gets a B tier. Over Intune? Yeah, probably. Alright, next up we have Steppa. Alright. He's an E rank with an HP stat of 242. Strength is 38. His spirit is 120. His defense is 71, and his speed is 93. So some solid stats. He also has the wavy body ability. And his attacks are Slap, Heal. His ultimate is Mambo Madness, which will boost speed for allies. And his in spirit Kombu energy will greatly boost defense. Okay. So this is interesting because a lot of the seaweed yokai that we're going to go through here right now are pretty similar. But they all do different things. So I guess it's just a matter of which boosts I like more personally. Okay, I think Steppa is going to be a tiny bit more useful than Wiglin because I think speed and defense are universally important stats, whereas strength is only important for some yokai, right? And a nice big defense boost is also pretty nice. Wiglin, I mean Steppa. There's Steppa. All right, I think Steppa is going to go above Wiglin. All right, next we have Riv. She is a D rank with an HP stat of 229, a strength of 32, a spirit of 131, a defense of 52, and a speed of 128. So some decent stats. She also has wavy body. Her attacks are slap. She has the restore technique for 50. Her ultimate is Seaweed Samba, which gradually restores HP for all allies. And her in-spirit is Slippery Mikabu, which greatly boosts speed. So she has a bit more of a healing niche, and I think right off the bat that's going to be better than both Wiglin and Steppa, but I think she's still going to land in a C tier. Yep, there she is. Okay. Yep. Okay. All right, we have Seaweed Sensei up next. Um, he is the only yokai in this tier list that doesn't have a transparent PNG, and I think we're going to see why in a second. So he is a rank C, but don't let that fool you. He has an HP stat of 109, which is pretty bad. His strength is 73, his spirit is 112, his defense is 24, which also is not pretty good, and his speed is 111. Now his ability here is probably what he hinges on. May keep 1 HP when HP is 0. Works 3 times. Okay, so basically, if Seaweed Sensei dies, he has a chance to keep 1 HP. Now here's the thing with this. If it doesn't work, your Seaweed Sensei is just going to die an embarrassing death. And he only has 109 HP. That's pretty much half the HP that some of our E ranks have. Alright? Now, if, let's say the skill does work all 3 times. I don't know what the chances are of that, but let's say it does. There are some instances where if the ability does work and you get combo attacked at the same time, that's going to count as 2 knockout blows. I've seen it happen before. So, like you take the final hit, the ability works, and then you get hit with a combo move that also kills you. That's going to be 2 deaths in a row. All right. So that's something to keep in mind. You could get hit 3 times, in which case, if this ability does work every time, your Seaweed Sensei is going to be left with 1 HP and no recoveries left. His attacks are Slap, 30, and his ability is not ability. His technique is Drain, which has a base power of 40. So that will heal him and no one else. So it's kind of like a heal, but for the user only. It's like that Sultimate from Wonston and Grubsnitch we talked about earlier. It'll drain some HP and then you'll get some back. Now his Sultimate, Sucking Void, has a base power of 100, and it will drain HP from foes, share it with allies, back 2 rows. Alright, so it's basically like Wonston and Grubsnitch. And his In-Spirit, Shielding Slime, greatly boosts defense. Okay, I'm gonna be straight up. I think the best thing about Seaweed Sensei is his In-Spirit. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of these drain and share ultimates. And as a healer, like quote unquote healer, he's not the best. His stats are pretty garbage, and I'd only use this for his In-Spirit, and there are so many other yokai with this In-Spirit. Like the Tough Tribe is knocking on your door, buddy. When we go through the Tough Tribe, they are pretty much all about defense. Alright? If you want to boost defense, use a Tough Tribe yokai. This yokai is straight up garbage. So, where is he? Seaweed Sensei. Right in the garbage. He's probably going to be the worst yokai we'll see today, but who knows? We'll see. All right, next up we have Hungramps, one of the OGs, the OG Heartful tribe. All right, he has a rank of E, HP of 196, strength of 33, a spirit of 127, a defense of 76, and a speed of 90. His ability is Starver, increases effect of food. Okay, so in Yokai Watch 3, you can feed your allies food to bring their HP back up, like when you're in trouble, pretty much, right? Like you'd want your healer to do that, but if you're in trouble and you want like immediate health, you'd use food. In a competitive battle, you can't use food at all, so this ability is pretty much useless. His attacks: Head Smack, base power 30. He has a heal. His ultimate is Hungry Impact, which is a base power 60, and it will restore allies' HP. And his Inspirit is Starve, which has a strength debuff for the enemy team. So Hungramps is a decent healer. You know, his ability isn't very useful. That's all right. You know? All right, Hungramps. All right, he's one of the OGs. So he's definitely better than Bumblejack. I think I'm going to put him above Wiglin, but below Steppa. All right, next we have Hungramps' evolution, Hungorge. All right, so let's see here. He's our first rank B of the video. His HP is 240. His strength is 43. Spirit 152. Defense 86. And speed 108. He has the exact same useless ability. He can chomp. His physical is chomp, which is a base power 50. He also has drain. And his ultimate is Gleeful Gluttony, which has a base power of 90 and restores allies' HP. And he has the exact same end spirit as Hungramps. Okay. So here's the thing. Hungorge. The drain ability makes me a bit uneasy, right? Like, he has the healing ultimate, but drain, like, he can heal himself, but he can't really heal other people unless his ultimate is charged. Which, yeah, your ultimate isn't a move you can use like whenever you want. It has to charge up. So you can use it once, then you have to wait. All right. Now, something I've been battling with myself about while making this is, does Hungorge make Hungramps irrelevant? And I'm almost inclined to say yes, but the drain is making things hard. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I am going to put Hungramps in the irrelevant tier preemptively. Okay? Like, I don't think Hungorge sells it for me, but there will be a YoKai coming up. It's pretty much the next YoKai that will sell it for me. So for now, let's see where Hungorge goes. Okay. So Hungorge, again, I'm still going to keep him in the same spot as Hungramps. But is he better than Steppa? You know what? I'm going to put Hungorge in the same spot as Hungramps. I think I'm comfortable with that. Okay, here's the yokai I was talking about. Grainpaw, right? He's a rank B. His HP is 206. His strength is 35. His spirit is 164. His defense is 82. His speed is 120. So some decent stats. You know, pretty good stats around the board. His ability is Blessed Body. Recovers allies' HP when defeated. Now, I'm not sure how much HP this is, but it's a good chunk, right? So when Grainpaw dies, he will heal his allies as like his final thing, I guess. He has a head smack. His technique is Restore, base power 50. His ultimate is Fresh Impact, which has a base power of 90 and will restore allies' HP. And his Inspirit is Rice's Kindness, which will gradually restore HP for an ally. Alright, so Grainpaw is our de facto healer. He's probably the best yokai on this list so far, alright? Now, what the fuck? Oh my god. Okay, so Grainpaw. So, he's definitely B tier. He's definitely the best one we've had so far. But would I put him in A tier? I'm going to think about this a little more, but I'm going to put him in an A tier for now. I think Grainpaw will go in the A tier. He's, you know, for a B rank, he's pretty good. He's got some decent stats. Okay. Alright, next we got Super Size Gramps. Oh boy. He's also a rank B, with a pretty massive HP stat of 332. His strength is 34, his spirit is 152, his defense is 73, and his speed is 107. So some decent stats. His ability is High Stakes. Recovers HP once when close to defeat. So if Supersized Gramps is about to die, he'll recover his HP himself. Like, it won't waste a turn, he'll just do it. So his attacks are Bone Crusher, which has a base power of 50 and may knock an enemy back a tile. His technique is Restore, and his ultimate is Revittles. Powers up and recovers HP. Now, I'm unsure if this HP recovery is for everyone on the board or just him, and I'm also unsure of what this powers up means. Right? Like, I haven't used many of these I haven't used all of the yokai on this list. Supersized Gramps is one of them. This is just pretty much what the game says about his ultimate. And his In Spirit is a strength debuff for enemies. Okay? So, he's a decent healer, and he has a lot of HP. So he will definitely stick around for a while, and his ability makes sure of that. So he's pretty decent. All right, Supersize Gramps. There he is. All right. I think he definitely goes above Intune, and I think I'll put him above Kelpa Cabana. I think I'll keep him there. He's also American yokai, if it wasn't obvious from his appearance. So there are some American yokai exclusive equipment that you can put on him that will only buff stats and not lower them. It should be noted that a lot of the equipment in the game that you can put on any yokai will boost one stat but lower another, right? Which isn't ideal, but you have to do what you got to do sometimes. All right, next we have Tungus. If you've played Yokai 2, you don't get this guy pretty early. She's pretty cute. All right, she's a rank E with an HP of 199, a strength of 32, a spirit of 117, defense of 55, speed of 121. Her ability is Lick It Clean, which will purify a yokai when she heals them. Now, it says yokai is purified when healing, like it's a absolute, like it'll definitely happen. That's not the case. It'll only happen sometimes. Pretty deceptive, but whatever. It's an alright ability. I've used it before. It's fine. But, it saves you some trouble, right? Besides saving you from having to do the purification minigame on the bottom screen while there's a battle going on. Also it also works as just an instant, like, get this stat debuff off me, right? It's an instant stat debuff, or it gets the stat debuff off of you instantly, right? So you don't have to play a mini game and have a couple seconds with it on. Her attacks are Slurp, which has a base power of 50, a technique Heal. Her ultimate is Lick of Love, 60 base power and restores allies HP. And her In Spirit is Lick Your Wounds, which will gradually restore HP. All right. Personally, I think I'd take Tungus over Intune. So let's see. There she is. Okay. I think I'd take Tungus over Intune, but I don't think she's better than Couple Cabana, so she's getting a low B tier. Okay, next we have Nurse Tungus. So the evolution of Tungus. She's rank B with an HP stat of 233, strength of 39, spirit of 128, a defense of 64, a speed of 138. She has the exact same ability, pretty much same attack, better technique. So she has the best healing move in the game, Paradise. Her ultimate Lick of Love now has a base, or Lick of Life now has a base power of 90 and restores ally HP, and she has the same In Spirit, gradually restores HP. All right, so definitely better than regular Tungus, but the thing it also does is it makes her irrelevant because Nurse Tungus is pretty much a better version of Tungus in every single way possible. So it is unfortunate, but Tungus is going to go in the irrelevant tier. Now let's find Nurse Tungus. There she is. Do I think she's better than Kelpa Cabana? Supersize Gramps. I'm going to put her above Supersize Gramps. She's going to stay in B tier, but I'll keep her there. Okay, next we have Sandmeh. Alright, so rank E. HP of 192. a strength of 36, a spirit of 112, defense of 76, speed is 100. Alright, whoops. And his ability is stand still, will not loaf. So there is something in YoKai Watch 3 called loafing, which basically means your yokai is completely vulnerable and is doing nothing. So it's not like guarding where they're not going to do anything, but their damage is reduced. Their damage, they're going to take the same amount of damage and they're just doing nothing, right? So decent ability, but it's an E rank, so whatever. All right, he has head smack, heal. His ultimate is sand slide, which has a base power of 100 and only hits the back row. And his Inspire is amazing, or amazing, which boosts all stats a little for an ally. Alright, so he's decent, I suppose. He's kind of like a healer, but he also like might boost stats. I'm not a huge fan of the ultimates that only hit one row. I like the column ones better, those split up teammates more. The rows won't really split teammates up. Like only one row. A lot of those ultimates tend to be useless because enemies will move out of the way. If you can hit them, it'll be good, but most of the time these single row ones don't hit. Alright, there's Sandema. Okay, he's kind of a healer. I think there. Okay, next we have Mr. Sandema. Not very easy to get this one. He's a rank B, HP 262, his strength is 45, spirit is 127, defense is 96, speed is 113. Exact same ability. Head smack, restore, sandstormal. His ultimate is sandstormal, 150. Hits the back row, and the same in spirit. So Sanma has pretty much become irrelevant at this point. I mean, he's the same thing, but a little better, right? So another thing about Mr. Sanma, this guy is infamously hard. He's really hard to get. You know, I had to get another one just for this video, right? Just so I could see his stats. I think it's pretty stupid that Mr. Sanma has like is one of the yokai you need to fuse to get another yokai, because Mr. Sanma is already hard enough to get. I mean, if you know what you're doing, it's an easy like 30 minutes of time wasted trying to get this stupid guy. It's a whole process. Basically, if you go to the lottery in Granny Edna's candy store and check out the prizes, there's a last triangle prize, and sometimes it'll be the sand suit. So you want the sand suit, which means you need to get the last prize in the lottery. So you need to get a bunch of lottery tickets. How do you get lottery tickets? There's an alleyway to the south of Granny Edna's candy store, which has pandals and flippets, wild pandals and flippets. And if you have a yokai with the greed ability, like Watson, for example, there is a good chance that a flippet will drop a lottery ticket. You want the flippets to drop the lottery tickets. It's not the only place you can find lottery tickets. They can also appear in purple chests, and they can also appear in areas where you can catch bugs and fish as the little sparkles. You can get them there. If the lottery doesn't have the sand suit as the last triangle prize, I'd sleep for 3 days. So another interesting thing about the lottery is the progress. Gradually over a couple days, people like NPCs will slowly take the prizes, right? And on the last day of the lottery, there will be very little prizes left. If you can, it's a little risky, but sleeping during the lottery you want may decrease the amount of lottery tickets you have to spend on trying to get the last triangle prize. So say, you know, you're on the second day of a lottery, the sand suit is the last triangle prize, and there's 15 prizes left. So let's say you're like, all right, I can risk a sleep. So you sleep for another day, and then you come back, and there's only 2 prizes left, right? So then instead of wasting 15 lottery tickets, now you only need to waste 2 to get the sand suit, right? So it's a balance between sleeping to find the prize you want and like actually getting lottery tickets. You want to be careful because sometimes the lotteries can go out pretty quickly. And they're around for a random number of days. It could be as many as 4, I want to say. That's how you get Mr. Sandma. Pretty convoluted stuff. So, he's already down a peg because it's pretty difficult to get this guy. I mean, he's not even that great anyways. Okay. Where is he? There he is, Mr. Sandma. Okay, real quick. He's not going to go there, but real quick. Sandma, irrelevant. Okay, Mr. Sandma. He at least goes here. I mean, I'd say he's better than. Honestly, I mean, I'm going to put him above Wiglin. Actually, I'm going to put him below Wiglin because he's pretty stupid to get. So, Little Blue Bathing Hood is a E rank with an HP stat of 207, a strength of 28, a spirit of 121, defense of 84, and a speed of 89. All right, his ability is R&R, gradually restores HP while waiting for a move timer, and his move timer is 4, as I put in parentheses here. So, what's a move timer? So, on your 9x9 board, where all your yokai are, you can move them around, okay? So, every time you move a yokai, you have to wait a certain amount of seconds to move them again. Each move timer is different for each yokai. For Little Blue Bathing Hood, it's 4. So apparently he's going to gradually restore HP during those 4 turns. It's not 4 seconds, it's 4 turns. Each move timer works on turns instead of seconds. His attack is Head Smack. His technique is Torrent with the base power 30, so that's kind of like a water attack. His ultimate is Blissful Bath Time, which is a base power 73, and will hit the back 2 rows. It's a water element again. And his in spirit is Beatific Bath Time. I don't know if it's Beatific or Beatific. I'm not sure. But it'll gradually restore HP for an ally. So I'd say he's a decent special attacker, probably definitely better than Palisol. And he has some passive healing for allies and himself. So an interesting yokai. Alright. Where is our Little Blue Bathing Hood? There he is. Or she, I think it's a she. Yeah, I'll put him I think he goes a little above Bumblejack. Okay, next is her evolution, Bubble Beth. She's our first rank A of the video, so let's keep in mind you can only put 2 A ranks on your team. Alright, her HP is 230, her strength is 33, her spirit is 151, her defense is 107, and her speed is 102, so some very solid stats across the board. Her ability is the exact same as Little Blue Bathing Hood's. She can tackle, which is base power 35, and it may knock an enemy back a tile. Her technique is Waterfall, so this is the best tier of water attacks, base power 70. Her ultimate is Floral Foam Wave, which has a base power of 148, which is pretty good, and it hits the back 2 rows. And her in spirit is Balmy Bath Time, which will gradually restore HP. So this makes Little Blue Bathing Hood irrelevant, unfortunately. And, as far as special attackers go, she's pretty good. I mean, the 148 base power is pretty high. Alright, unfortunately for Little Blue Bathing Hood, he is now irrelevant. And let's find Bubble Beth. So she's a good special attacker. I think it'll go above these nerds. We'll put her in B tier. You know, Sue Storm is distracting me a little. I think we'll put her. Well, I don't know. Okay, we don't have too many special attackers here, so it's hard to compare. Okay. All right, we have Afronaut now. Look at that thing. All right. He's a rank D. His HP is 255, a strength of 42, spirit of 137, a defense of 108, and a speed of 56. His ability is Zero Gravity, immune to negative floor effects. Okay, so there are some yokai that can set like traps on the floor. and going over them can have a certain effect. Like maybe it'll take some HP off when you go through it, and if you stand on it, it'll gradually take HP down. He's going to be immune to all that stuff. So he has head smack. His I think his hair is going to smack before his head, but sure. His technique is hail, which has a base power 30. That's like an ice attack. His ultimate is 0G Afro Power, which will give allies a big speed boost. And his in spirit weightlessness will also boost speed. It's not a big speed boost, but it's a speed boost. So this guy focuses a lot on speed. Um, speed is kind of useful, but this guy, I mean, he's not doing any healing, which is fine. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I mean, I guess he can boost speed, but that's probably his biggest draw is that he does a lot for speed. Where's he gonna go? Afronaut. We'll put Afronaut there. Above Bumblejack, but below Mr. Sandman. Alright, next we have Serial Spiller. He's a D rank with an HP of 229, a strength of 30, spirit of 128, a defense of 102, and a speed of 91. So he's got some okay stats. His ability is Bear Care, which will recover HP once when close to defeat. So it's kind of like Supersize Gramps' high stakes. He has a head smack. He can heal. His ultimate is Spinny Spills, which is a base power of 80, and it'll attack in like a T shape towards the column in front. So like if Serial Spiller is standing in the middle of your board and you use his ultimate, it'll be a T shape. If he's on the side, it'll still hit the since it's a 9x9 grid, it'll go down the left, like say he's standing on the left, it'll go down the left column, but obviously like it can't go any more left, so it'll just hit the center tile as well. And his in spirit is Spillover, which will cause an enemy to toss money. Now, even if we're not talking about competitive battling, this in spirit is probably the least useful in the game. It has some uses, but especially even in competitive battling, it's not going to do anything. So this in spirit is pretty much useless. All right, Serial Speller. I'm gonna put him above Bumblejack. Okay, next on our list is Tomorrow Gal. All right, she's a rank D with an HP of 213, a strength of 36, spirit of 127, defense of 73, speed of 110. And her skill is Caring, which will gradually restore HP for linked allies. It's a decent one. Alright, she has a slap, she can restore. Her ultimate is Go Tomorrow, which will boost all allies' stats. It's an all stat boost for everyone. And her in spirit Cheer On will slightly boost all stats as well. So, on top of being a healer, she's consistently boosting everyone's stats, right? So she's a nice support, and she's got some decent healing. All right, Tomorrow Gal. So she's definitely better than these guys. I'll put her in B tier, but I'll keep her below Intune. Okay, next we have Swakehorn. So Swakehorn is a D rank. His HP is 233. His strength is 70. Spirit 108. Defense 45. Speed 119. He also has the Wavy Body ability. He can do a head smack. His technique is Pebble, which is the earth one. His ultimate is Baffle Beam, which will remove enemies' charms. Okay. So, if the enemy team has a good in spirit, like one of their teammates has a strength buff on them, and Swakehorn uses this ultimate, he can remove that. He can remove that strength buff. It's not going to do any damage, but he can remove the strength buff. And his in spirit Swayed Intentions will confuse an enemy yokai. So Swakehorn's fine. I mean, what are you really doing with Swakehorn? I mean, I guess you're kind of like keeping the other team in check a little. I mean, I don't know. Suicorn's not doing too much. I guess he's a special attacker, but then he's also like, doing this stuff, which is all right, I guess.
Man, let's just say the tier list.
Man, I'm just gonna give him a D tier. He's okay. I mean, I don't really know what. I'm not really sure what his niche is. Now we have Push Pup here. He's a D rank. His HP is 196. His strength is 31. His spirit of 132. His defense is 53, and his speed is 121. His ability is Insulator, which will reduce lightning damage for allies. It's a bit random, even though he's not weak to electric, so a bit random. He can head smack. He has a heal. His ultimate is Click Click Bang, which has a base power of 130 and will self-destruct in a plus shape. Now, I'm not sure what the range of this is, if any, for your team. Like, I don't know if it hits anywhere on your board, if it'll hit your teammates. I'm not sure. I would assume not. But it'll definitely we'll say he sacrifices himself for trying to hit the other team. I don't know how good this ultimate's going to be because this uses physical damage and his strength is only 31. So I don't know how good this is going to be. And his in spirit is Puppy Press, which will slightly boost all stats. So he's kind of a decent healer. His ultimate, probably not very useful. I'm going to put her above Grubstitch and below Bumblejack. Okay, here we have Happy Cane. He's a rank D. His HP is 202, his strength is 35, spirit is 126, defense is 76, his speed is 104. And his excuse me, his ability is How Sweet, gradually restores HP for linked allies. He's got a body bash, he can heal, and his ultimate is Make You Happy. Base power 60, it will restore allies HP, and his in spirit Sweet Relief will gradually restore HP. Okay, so this is another decent healer. I'm comfortable putting him here between Cabana and Intune. Okay, next up we have Starry Cane, which is Happy Cane's evolution. She's a rank B with an HP of 256, strength 39, spirit 139, defense 86, speed 115. She has the same ability, pretty much she has a better version of Body Bash. Better version of Body Bash. Restore. Her ultimate is Starry Bright, base power 90, but restore allies HP, and the same in spirit. So unfortunately, this will make Happy Cane irrelevant. But she's a pretty good healer, obviously. I'd rather take her over Starry Cane anyways. I mean, Happy Cane. This is Starry Cane. Whoopsies. Alright, unfortunately, Happy Cane is now irrelevant. Womp womp. Now we have Starry Cane. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put Bubble Bath a little higher so I can put Starry Cane over Super Size Grams. Yeah. Alright, so Bubble Bath moved up, and Starry Cane goes above Super Size Grams. Lodo! Alright. Lodo is a rank D with an HP of 236, strength of 71, spirit of 105, defense of 75, speed of 92. His ability is Stealing, which will increase money at the end of battle. Like we've discussed earlier, this is useless. He has a Kick, which is base power 30. His technique is Whirlwind. And his ultimate is I Want It All, base power 67. It's one of those drain and share abilities again, and it hits the back two rows. And his ability, Poverty, will make an enemy toss money. So Lodo is pretty much the culmination of everything I have called useless in this video. I mean, he barely heals. I guess he's kind of a special attacker, but I mean, why would you use Lodo? Not Seaweed Sensei useless, but probably more worthless than Wanson. Okay, next we have Lodo's evolution, Support Hero. Support Hero is a rank A with an HP of 272, Strength 100, Spirit 121, Defense 79, Speed 155. So some decent stats. His ability is Acrobat, which will allow him to counterattack right after dodging an enemy attack. So he'll dodge an enemy attack and then he counterattacks right after, which is decent. He's got a Flip Kick, which has a base power of 50. He has Storm, which is, I think, the highest tier wind technique, base power 70. His ultimate is Empty Pockets, which hits 5 times and has a base power of 30, and it'll hit the front 2 rows, so it's pretty decent. And his ability, Supor Squanderer, will toss money, so not very useful. Alright, definitely a step up from Lodo. I want to say he's honestly a bit more of a physical attacker, because Empty Pockets doesn't have any elemental damage. And he has Flip Kick as well, so he's probably more of a physical attacker, but his stats don't really reflect that too well, which is interesting. Now he's an A rank, so would I waste an A rank spot on him? Definitely not. So I don't think he's going to get an A tier for that. We're going to put him here above Supersize Gramps. All right, now we have Chippa, who is a recolor of Lodo. Chippa's a C rank with an HP of 253, a strength of 98, a spirit of 77, so notice the strength is higher, a defense of 87, and a speed of 105. His ability is Optimism Power, which will gradually restore HP for linked allies. He has a Flip Kick for a physical. His technique is Torrent, which is a water attack. His ultimate Carefree Hero will confuse all the enemies on the board. If it hits. And his Inspirit is Optimism, gradually restores HP. Okay, so I guess Chippa's supposed to be a physical attacker as well, but Sultimate is alright. I mean, I don't know why they have the healing ability then. They have more healing abilities than they do physical abilities, which is a bit strange because, again, their strength is higher than their spirit. So, not too sure what Chippa's niche is supposed to be. Alright. So, probably not a higher rank either. This like, line of evolutions and recolors is not very good. Here. Put Chippa below Push Pup. And you know what? I'm gonna move Palisol right below Push Pup. So now Chippa's below Palisol. Okay, next up we have Nomi. So Nomi's a D rank with an HP of 214, Strength 33, Spirit of 124, Defense 79, and Speed 103. His ability is Good Fortune, increases money at the end of battle. Useless. Her physical is Hit 20, decreases enemy guard. They have a heal. Their ultimate is Innocent World, which will gradually restore allies' HP. And then their Inspirit is Chin Up, which will gradually restore more HP. So, a decent healer. Their ability is a bit useless, but that's okay. We got a nice healer on our hands here. I'm going to move Rith into the B tier. Yeah, we're going to move Rith into the B tier. So Nomi, I'm going to put above Intune, and I'm going to move Tomorrow Gal above Intune. And actually, I'm going to move her above Nomi as well. So Nomi is going to go between Tomorrow Gal and Intune. Okay, Nomi's evolution. High Nomi. Alright, so High Nomi is an A rank. So we'll have to consider that. HP 266, Strength 41, Spirit 152, Defense 93, Speed 116. And her ability is Golden Touch, win more money after battles. Again, useless. Hit 20. She has Paradise. Her ultimate is Joyful Jig, gradually restores allies HP, and Cheer Up, gradually restores allies HP. So this makes Nomi irrelevant because High Nomi is just a better version of Nomi. Alright, just going to place her here while we move Nomi into the irrelevant section. So High Nomi at least goes here, but she has Paradise. So I think I'm going to put her above... I think I'm going to put her above Tomorrow Gal, then. Okay, now we have Enterfly. So Enterfly is a D rank with an HP of 192. Strength is 41, Spirit is 128, Defense 80, Speed 97. Now Enterfly's ability is pretty interesting. Miraculous Scales does not get jinxed by enemies. That is a pretty powerful ability to have. Because, you know, an enemy's in Spirit could greatly lower a lot of your stats, right? So this is a pretty interesting ability. And another thing about it is it doesn't stop you from being targeted by in spirits. They just won't hit. So an enemy can target you with an in spirit and it'll just miss you every time. So it's pretty useful. Slap 30, heal 30. His ultimate is Energy Heaven with a base power of 60 and it will restore allies HP. His ability is his in spirit is Energize, which will boost all stats for an ally. So Enterfly here is pretty solid. So I'm going to put him above Intune. And I'm going to keep him in between Tomorrow Gal and Intune. Okay, next up we have Enterfly. So Enterfly is a D rank. His HP is 234. His strength is 36. His spirit is 122. His defense is 64. His speed is 109. He has the same ability as Enterfly. He has a slap. He has Absorb, which is like a low tier drain, and its base power is 25. His ultimate is Enemy Aura, which will remove enemies' charms, so it's like Swaycorn. And his in spirit is Enemy Maker, which will confuse allies. So Enterfly here is pretty much just a better version of Swaycorn, right? But that doesn't make Swaycorn irrelevant because obviously it's not a recolor or evolution of Swaycorn. This also doesn't make Enterfly irrelevant because Enterfly has a different role than Enterfly does. Enterfly is more of a healer. Enterfly, has a bit more stat control, I guess. I think I'm gonna put him here. Okay, next up we have Betterfly. Betterfly is a fusion of Enterfly and Enterfly, so we're gonna treat it like an evolution. So she's rank A. Her HP is 256, Strength is 44, Spirit is 163, Defense is 85, Speed is 119. She has the same ability as her predecessors. She has a slap, Paradise 70. Her ultimate is Bestacular, which has a base power of 120 and will restore allies' HP. And her ability is not ability, dude. Why do I keep doing that? Her in spirit is Feeling Fine, which will raise all stats. So Butterfly is pretty good. A pretty good healer. Would I use an A rank slot on her? Maybe, right? Like, for a healer, she's pretty good. Not being able to be jinxed is a pretty good ability. And she has, some pretty good healing moves. And she can raise all stats for one ally, right? So she's pretty good. I'd rather waste... I'd possibly rather waste an A rank slot on a healer than an S rank. There are some pretty good S rank healers, but there are also some pretty good S rank attackers. You know what? It actually does. It actually does make Enterfly irrelevant. So at least here, definitely say she's a pretty good healer. You know what? I'm gonna put her above a Greenpaw. She's definitely pretty good. All right, now we have our first S rank of the video. We have Pepion, which is a recolor of Butterfly, obviously. She looks pretty stunning. All right, she's got an HP of 277, strength of 43, a spirit of 173, defense of 87, and a speed of 126. Again, same exact ability. Slap, Paradise, Party Miracle, with a max base power of 180. I've used Pepion before, so it could be 120, but at level 1. But at max, it's 180. You want it at max anyways. Restores ally HP. And her in spirit, Life is Good, gradually restores HP for an ally. So, a pretty good healer. Definitely better than, I'd say she's better than Betterfly because she has the restoring HP in Spirit as opposed to the boosting all stats in Spirit. Um, no, does it make better? Another question: does it make Betterfly um irrelevant? For the time being, I'm gonna say no because the in spirits are a bit different. It could lead to some different uh dynamics, I suppose. They'd be slightly different, but maybe for Betterfly, you want to prioritize inspiriting over healing, which you could, I guess. I would definitely. I don't know if I'd say Papillon's S tier material, but she's definitely pretty good. I'd consider her for my team. Okay, next we have Predictable. So Predictable is a D rank with an HP of 214, Strength 93, Spirit 118, Defense 66, Speed 74. Her ability is Clairvoyance, increased chance to dodge enemy attacks. So, I'm going to assume it works for physical attacks, but you never know. Body Bash 20, knocks enemy back tile. Heal 30. Soothe her ultimate is Soothing Fortune. Base power 60 will restore allies HP, and her in spirit Raging Bull will boost strength. Alright, so a good healer with some she has some ability to dodge, and she can boost strength, which is decent. I'll keep her below Rith for now. Alright, now we have Predictable's evolution, Smashable. So it's an S rank, so do we want to waste a slot for it? HP 283, Strength 168, Spirit 147, Defense 76, and Speed 93. So some pretty good stats, but Strength is higher than Spirit. Same ability. Their attack, Bone Crusher 50, knocks out a back tile. They still have Paradise. Their ultimate is Bull Rush, which has a base power of 190, and it will hit the column in front. And their in spirit is the same. Raging Bull, boost strength. Whoops. So Smashable is definitely more geared toward physical attacking. But it still has the added bonus of actually being able to heal because their spirit stat is still pretty high. Would you prioritize healing with Smashable? Probably not. I'd prioritize physical attacking more because we have Bone Crusher and Bull Rush, and their in spirit would promote their strength. So a pretty good physical attacker here with a bit of an odd healing, but it'll make for some good passive healing. Now, would I waste an S rank slot? Probably not, because um, you know, technically they have a healing ability. So I don't really think I'd want that in between, like they're kind of both sort of thing, because it's one thing to have a decent physical attacker, but then on the off chance that they randomly heal someone, and then I'm still wasting a slot on my, and then I'm still possibly wasting 2 slots on my team for more healers, it's a bit awkward. So I'm not gonna waste an S rank slot, but they're still a pretty good physical attacker. You know what? I'm gonna give them a low A tier. All right, Don-chan jump scare. Don-chan is indeed in this game. So, also he officially marks the halfway point. So we're halfway through. Yay! Um, Probably an hour and a half in, but we're chilling. We have a C rank. HP is 236, Strength 51, Spirit 124, Defense 71, Speed is 119. Their ability is Feel the Beat, which will boost all stats slightly. I'm pretty sure this is only for Don-chan, so they get a free slight stat boost. Body Bash, you know the deal. Restore. Their ultimate is Rockin' Rockets, which has a base power of 110. It'll hit the front 2 rows, and it has the fire element. So it's not a physical one, it's a fire attack. And their ultimate, their in spirit is Battle Beat, which gives an ultra strength boost, which is pretty decent. Okay. Something to note about Danchan. Danchan has an item that is exclusive to him. It's like these taiko drumsticks. I don't exactly remember what stats they give him, but it's an item that's exclusive to him. Danchan's not a complete healer, which is interesting. Because the only healing move he really has is Restore, right? But there's definitely a focus on Spirit, so it's probably more for the Sultimate, I guess. But he also has like this Battle Beat, so it kind of leaves him in a really weird gray area where I'm not too sure what his niche is supposed to be, right? Like, he can kind of heal, but maybe that's not really what you want him doing all the time. I think I'll keep Don Chan here for the time being because my tiny problem with Don Chan is that he's like a weird hybrid between healer and special attacker. And then he also has the ultra strength boost, which is a bit odd to me. Okay, now we have Rayolite. Rayolite's a C rank with an HP of 248, strength is 37, spirit is 135, defense is 71, speed is 116. His ability is Fire Play, which will boost fire damage for all yokai. Again, double-edged sword. It'll boost his attacks, but it also boosts the enemy's attacks. His physical is a flip kick. His technique is Blaze, which is the second tier fire technique at base power 50. His ultimate is Solar Flare, which is a base power of 110, and will hit the back 2 rows. Obviously, this is a fire ability. And his In Spirit is Solar Power, which will give a big strength boost. Now, again, this is a bit odd. Or just a tiny bit odd because, he's a special attacker. And, yokai can In Spirit themselves. And it can be useful at times. So, a big strength boost on a special attacking yokai is a bit odd, but sure. If you're using physical attacking and special attacking at the same time, then I guess it could be useful. So I'm gonna put him here. Rayolite will go there. Okay, now we have Old Saint Trick. So Old Saint Trick is a C rank with an HP stat of 222. His strength is 42, his spirit is 124, his defense is 89, and his speed is 108. His ability is Caring, gradually restores HP for linked allies. He has a full swing for his physical. Restore. His ultimate is Pick a Present, which will hit random tiles. And a actual quote from his description: "What comes out is up to chance." I'm not sure what this means. There's no base power for it or base element, so I literally have no clue what this ultimate is. Now, here's the thing with the random ultimates. There are some ultimates that can hit random tiles, and I think they are useful more for mind games than anything. Because what you can do is you can start to charge up a ultimate that will hit random tiles. And if it's on if it's on a couple of the other team's yokai, they might move them out of the way. Now, here's what you can do. You can immediately cancel that ultimate if you haven't done any progress of it to get rid of the ultimate meter. So the ultimate meter is still at max. You're just pretending to charge the ultimate so they move out of the way. You can exit back out and redo the ultimate, so now you have new tiles that it hits, and it could hit those people that he just moved, that the opposite team just moved, and you get a free ultimate. Now, I don't know how useful this ultimate is, again, because what comes out is up to chance, but sure. And his In Spirit is so generous, tosses money. This is useless. It's not completely useless, but, for our purposes, it's not very useful right now. So, Old Saint Trick is a bit strange, right? I'm not sure what his ultimate does. Even when he's on my team, I'm not sure what's going to happen, right? It's a bit unreliable. In Spirit, also unreliable. And, he has the Caring thing and he has the Restore. Old Saint Trick is okay, I suppose. Below Palisol. So I'll put him there. All right, now we have Old Fortune. So Old Fortune is a rank C. HP is 258, Strength is 31, Spirit is 137, Defense 97, Speed 95. His ability is Penetrate. Ignores enemy elemental affinity. So I think the most this is going to do is prevent um his technique hitting, for resistance. So he has a lightning attack. So I think Earth resists lightning. So if he hits an Earth yokai with his lightning attack, it'll do more damage. And then on the other side of the coin, if he hits a water yokai with his lightning attack, it's going to do less damage. So again, double-edged sword. He has a full swing. Like I mentioned, his technique is lightning, which has 50 base power. His ultimate is Get a Present, which has a base power of 90, and it will restore allies' HP, and he has the same in spirit. So, again, what is Old Fortune's niche, right? Like, he has the awkward restoration ultimate, but then he kind of just randomly has a lightning attack, right? Like, I'm not sure what Old Fortune is supposed to be here. So he's definitely gonna get a low rank. Um, I would say he's at least better than Old Saint Trick because I can tell what his ultimate's going to do, and I can tell kind of like maybe what his place is supposed to be, but again, I'm not sure. I guess I'll put him right above Old Saint Trick. Okay, now we have Ponderu. So Ponderu is a C rank with an HP of 257. His strength is 55. His spirit is 123. His defense is 106, and his speed is 83. So some alright stats. His ability is Deep Thinker, which boosts stats slightly when waiting to move, and his move timer is 5. So we've discussed the move timer already. His attack, he has a flip kick. His technique is Rapids, which is like a water attack, so it's the second tier water attack. And his ultimate is Well Conceived Kick, which hits 5 times with a base power of 22, and it hits the front 2 rows. And his in spirit is Pause for Thought, which allows an enemy to not be able to move on the board. So what that means is the opponent can't move their enemy around wherever their yokai is on their board. It stays until they're purified, right? They can still use attacks and stuff, but they just can't move. I guess Ponderu is kind of like a special attacker, but his ultimate is physical. A bit strange. He has a decent ability, I guess. I'm gonna put him here. I'm actually gonna put him above Serial Spiller. Next, we have Tongue Twister. So he is a rank C with an HP of 274, a strength of 116, a spirit of 140, defense is 57, and his speed is 49, so he's a bit slow. His ability is Fire Watch Out, reduces fire damage for allies. So, yeah, any fire attacks incoming, lower attack. So his physical is Chomp, base power 50. His technique is Fire, base power 30. His ultimate is Soothing Sermon, which has a base power of 110 and it will restore allies' HP. And his ultimate, dude, his in spirit is Tongue Tied, which will do tick damage for an enemy. I guess like he's kind of a special attacker, but he also has some decent. His ultimate is like a decent restoration ability, but that's his only healing attack. Um, yeah. So I guess he's kind of a special attacker. I'm gonna leave Tongue Twister between Afronaut and Ponderu. Okay, now we have Lazy Sunday. So Lazy Sunday is a C rank with an HP of 285. His strength is 29. His spirit is 123. His defense is 143, and his speed is 64. So he's a pretty defensive guy. His ability is R&R, gradually recovers HP when waiting for move timer. His move timer is 5. He has Tackle, Restore. His ultimate is That Sunday Feeling, which will make foes not be able to move. All foes cannot move. And his In Spirit, Such a Parfait Day, will do the same thing, except for a single enemy. he's kind of like an inspirator. So I guess he has the inspirit where people can't move for both his ultimate and his regular inspirit. But then he has the restore ability. So I guess like he's kind of a mix of both, which is sort of interesting. I'm gonna put him above Mr. Sandman. Alright, next we have Got It Made. So Got It Made is a C rank with an HP stat of 293, Strength is 30, Spirit is 132, Defense is 125, her speed is 69. Her ability is Got It Covered, protects allies close to defeat. Now I'm not sure if that means. I'd assume this means she's gonna take a hit for them. That would be my first instinct. Um, I'm not sure how useful this is, but you know, it sounds like it'd be useful. Um, her physical is Smackdown. It's twice for a base power of 25. She has a restore. Her ultimate is Super Heal, base power 90, restores Alice HP, and her in spirit is Got It, which will greatly boost strength. So she's decent. I'd say she's a healer. You know, it definitely seems that way. Um, and with her ability, you know, it seems like some yokai will have a bit longer to be in the game, but it makes me a bit worried for her longevity, right? Like if she protects an ally and she takes damage from it, like will it kill her, right? It's like that's basically a healer down. And the strength boost is decent. Um, here above predictable. Okay, next up we have Green Gramps. Green Gramps is a C rank with an HP stat of 238. His strength is 75, his spirit is 112, his defense is 88, his speed is 99. His ability is Recycle, may reuse life and spirit orbs. Okay. So, when you hit enemies, sometimes they'll drop these blue and green glowing orbs on your little battlefield, which are life orbs and spirit orbs. You know, life orbs restore a bit of health. Spirit orbs, um, refill a bit of your soul meter. And the ability to reuse them possibly, it's not game breaking, but it could be sort of helpful. He's got a headbutt. He restores. His ultimate is recycled HP, which has a base power of 45, and restores allies' HP, then keeps slowly restoring it, so it'll restore it instantly and then keep it going. And then his Inspirit, one with the Earth, gradually restores HP. So he's a good healer. The ability to reuse some of the orbs on the battlefield could be a bit interesting, but I wouldn't say it affects my ranking too much. I'm gonna put him above Tomorrow Gal. And I also think I'm gonna move Intune below Got It Made. So yeah, Intune is now below Got It Made, and Green Gramps is below High Nomi. So now we have the Wright brothers. So they're C rank, their HP is 262, their strength is 30, spirit 146, defense 70, speed 110. Their ability is Acrobat, so like superhero counterattacks right after dodging enemy attack. Their physical is Pinpoint Pierce, which is 10 base damage, but it has a boosted crit rate. Don't know how useful that is. Their technique is Rapids, base power 50. Their ultimate is Synchronicity, which will boost all stats of all allies. And their Inspirit is That's the Way, slightly boosts all stats for an ally. So these guys are kind of, I guess, more of a support character than a healer. We'll put them above Rith. Okay, now we have Tattle Cakes. So Tattle Cakes is a C rank with an HP stat of 235. Their strength is 38, spirit is 155, defense is 80, and their speed is 100. Their ability is Mom's Apple Pie. Boosts HP healed if it's American yokai. Okay, so certain yokai have like certain um titles tacked onto them, I guess. So there's like a regular yokai with no title. But some yokai will be American yokai, some yokai are classic yokai. It's just kind of a thing, I guess. Um there's legendary yokai, there's mystery legends, there's legendary American yokai, so it's kind of a whole thing. It's not super important unless it's, something like this. She has hit, restore. Um, her ultimate is warm from the oven, base power 90 and restores allies HP. And her end spirit is healing hotcakes, gradually restores HP. So another decent healer. We'll put Tattle Cakes above High Nomi. We'll put Tattle Cakes above High Nomi. You know what? I'm gonna put Kelpa Cabana above Tomorrow Gal, so I'm gonna lower him a bit. You know what? I'm gonna put Supersize Gramps back above Kelpa Cabana. Okay, next we have Happy Air. So Happy Air is a C rank, HP of 244. His strength is 37, spirit is 131, defense 120, speed 81. His ability is Caring, gradually restores HP for linked allies. He's got Body Bash, Restore. His ultimate is Air of Happiness, gradually restores allies HP. And his in spirit Cheerfulness does the same thing except for a single ally. So Happy Air's pretty much stayed consistent since the first game. This has pretty much been his moveset for the entire franchise. I'm gonna put him below Intune. Okay, now we have Happy Air's evolution, Reversa. So Reversa is a fusion between Happy Air and Dismeralda, and Reversa is also an A rank, so we'll keep that in mind. HP is 272, strength is 43, spirit is 147, defense is 28, speed is 97. So their ability is Insecure, high chance to deal and receive crits. So, they have a pretty self-explanatory. They have a high chance to deal a critical attack, but they also have a high chance to be critical attacked. They have a tackle. Their technique is Paradise. Their ultimate is Fun Field, gradually restores allies' HP, and their ability is Insecurity, which will confuse an enemy. So, Reversa is interesting. Would I waste an A rank slot? Definitely not. This is not A rank material, I don't think. Reversa? Not really. I mean, I get the gimmick. It's a mix between Happy Air, who is like all happy and stuff, and a healer, and Dismeralda, who's all sad, and she's kind of an inspirator. So, I guess that's kind of the gimmick, but does it work? Not really. I'm gonna put them below Hungorge. Okay, now we have Reverset. So Reverset is like a recolor of Reversa and is also an A rank, so we'll keep that in mind. Their HP is 276, with a strength of 173. Their spirit is 39, their defense is 110, and their speed is 93. They have the same ability. Now, again, interesting. Their strength is super high, so we'll see. Their attack is Tackle. Their technique is Storm, which is the highest tier wind ability. Their ultimate is Zany Zone, which gradually restores allies' HP, and they have the same end spirit. So I'm not sure what this is supposed to be, right? Reversa is only a recolor of Reversa with a stinky cloud. There's not really like any a specific way to get them besides encountering them. I would definitely say Reverset is worse than Reversa, and definitely does not deserve an A rank slot. Like they're a physical attacker, but their best physical attack is Tackle, which only has a base power of 35. Like it couldn't at least be Bone Crusher or something. And they still have HP restoration ultimate, which is pretty weird to me, considering they're not a healer anymore. They're a physical attacker. So I'm not sure what reverse set would do if they were on any team. Definitely a D tier, in my opinion. I'll put them above Lodo, because at least they have some good stats. Okay, next we have Fezzenyan. So this is our first Jibanyan clone of the video, which is pretty weird considering there are so many in this game. I guess there's not a lot of Heartful ones. Okay, so Fezzenyan's rank B. HP of 229. Their strength is 36. Their spirit is 158. Their defense is 88. Speed 105. And their ability is very interesting. Their ability is Dumpling. After dying, recover HP only once. So I'm not sure if it's a full HP recovery, but they get their own self revive, which is pretty good. They have Pesky Poke, Paradise. Their ultimate is Flying Feathers, which will hit 5 times for 22 base power in the front 2 rows. And their In Spirit, a peck above, gradually restores HP. So, he's a pretty decent healer. On top of being able to revive himself, he also has Paradise, a restoration in spirit, and he gets a ultimate for attacking. His strength is only 36, so I don't know how useful it is, but everything else about him is pretty good. You're not going to be using this ultimate weight too much, but it's still a useful thing to have sometimes. I think I'm going to put Fezzenyan above Tattlecakes. All right, next we have Fundango. So Fundango is a B rank with an HP of 281, strength is 86, spirit is 125, defense is 28, and their speed is 132. His ability is Gimme 20, boosts strength slightly for linked yokai, so that's fine. He has Flip Kick, Restore. His ultimate is Energizing Exercise, restores HP and gets more powerful. Again, it's unclear if the HP restoration is just for him or everyone, and gets more powerful is interesting. His In Spirit, Fun Times, gradually restores HP. So he's an alright healer. So his ability is alright. I'd prefer the healing one instead of the strength for him. Yeah, I'm gonna put him below Happy Air. So next we have Pearly White. So Pearly White is a B rank. Her HP is 300. Her strength is 35, spirit 156, defense 112, speed 75. Her ability is Spring Clean. Sometimes purifies adjacent allies. So this is interesting because it's kind of like Nurse Tungus's ability, but it looks like it's going to work more often because with Nurse Tungus's ability, it says it works. It might work when it heals. But it seems like Pearly White's kind of works like all the time, considering the allies are next to them. So probably linked up is what adjacent means. So I'd say it's a better ability than Nurse Tungus's. Now they have a Chomp, Restore, and her ultimate is Wooing Whitening, which has a base power of 45, but it purifies allies and restores their HP. That's pretty good. Being able to purify an ally with his ultimate is pretty good. And her In Spirit is Dental Defense. Defense goes way up. So this is pretty interesting because, she has some pretty interesting tools at her disposal. She has a lot of focus on purifying, and she also heals, and she boosts defense. So she has a pretty good arsenal at her. She has a pretty good arsenal of support. I don't know how much better it is than straight healing, but I like it better than Nurse Tungus. And the defense buff is pretty good too. You know what? I'm going to give her a low A tier because she has some pretty good tools at her disposal. No, actually, I'm gonna give her high B tier. We're gonna go high B tier above Nurse Tungus. All right, next we have Robogramps. So Robogramps is a B rank, HP stat 269, their strength is 50, spirit is 132, their defense is 106, and their speed is 102. So some pretty decent stats. Their ability is Polarity, which builds strength as soul meter refills. So as their soul meter, goes from 0 to full, their strength will keep building up. They have a head smack at restore. Their ultimate is Eat This, which has a base power of 140 and hits the column in front. And his in spirit is Steel Power with a defense boost. So Robogramps is a pretty weird mishmash of stuff because his ability focuses on strength, but he's not like focused on strength. He's not a strength focused yokai, so that's a bit of a weird ability. So I'm not quite sure what that ability is doing. I'm gonna put him. I'm gonna put him above Old Fortune and below Pally's Soul. All right, next we have Roland. So Roland is a B rank with an HP stat of 275. Their strength is 122, spirit is 59, defense is 80, speed is 113, and their ability is Gambler, which gives them a high chance to deal and receive crits. Um, his attack is Earth Splitter, which has a base power of 70. Technique is Rapids, 50. His ultimate is Roll of Fate, which hits random tiles. Now this isn't like old Saint Tricks, where I'm not sure what it does. It has a physical attribute to it, so it's definitely some physical move. And his in spirit is Lux Smile, which will gradually restore HP. So Roland is a physical attacker because he has a higher strength than his spirit stat. So the HP in spirit is a bit weird, but at least he has an attack to accommodate that. And his ability will be helpful. So for a physical attacker, he's pretty decent. So I'm gonna put Roland above Rayolite. So now we have Roland's evolution doubles which is an A rank. So his HP is 289 with a strength of 131, spirit is 52, defense is 89, speed is 121, and their ability is Gambler. So the same ability, same attack. Their technique is Waterfall though, and their ultimate is Hit It Big, which has a base power of 135, and it hits a single enemy. This ultimate won't target any specific spots on the enemy's board. It's just gonna hit a random enemy, or if you have someone targeted, it'll hit them. It's pretty much guaranteed to hit them unless it misses, in which case the enemy's speed was too high. But other than that case scenario, it's gonna hit every time, and they have the same in spirit. So I'm not sure what to do because I want to say this makes Roland irrelevant because I think the Sultimate is a bit more reliable. Their Sultimates are pretty different, but they're essentially the same yokai, and um, I think this Ultimate's just better anyway. So I'm gonna make Roland irrelevant. So unfortunately, Roland is now irrelevant. So I'm gonna put doubles here. Okay, now we have Scarasol, which is another A rank, and is also an evolution of Palisol. So his HP is 269, his strength is 117, his spirit is 99, defense is 127, and speed is 59. His ability is the same, deflect some technique damage when guarding, and his attack is Ventilator, which has a 20 base power but crit rate goes up. His technique is Rock Slide, base power 50. His ultimate is Umbrellacade, which causes his defense stat to soar. That sounds pretty good. Not sure what soar means, but it sounds pretty good. And his in spirit is Deep Cover, which has a defense boost. So this is Palisol's evolution, and well, first of all, it doesn't make Palisol irrelevant because he's a physical attacker and actually has a focus on defense. So you'd probably want him to guard a lot more because it'll deflect technique damage, and he has a super high defense stat. So that's probably what you want him doing, which, is completely different from what Palisol's doing, right? So it doesn't make Palisol relevant. And would I use an A rank on this guy? I don't know. I mean, I'm a bit on the fence about that because, he's a the focus on defense is pretty good. And, his strength stat is higher than his spirit, but both these attacks seem decent. So I'm definitely focused on his defensive abilities as a yokai. I'm going to put him right here, below Starry Kane and above Support Hero. Okay, now we have Odyssey Nyan. So another Jibanyan clone. He's a rank A with an HP of 259. What? Strength 46, Spirit 175, Defense 90, Speed 107. His ability is Fisher King. Foes are more prone to dropping items, so that's pretty useless for us. He has hit. His technique is Paradise. His ultimate is First Aid Kit, which has a base power of 120 and restores all allies. That was how it was in the description. I'm not sure if HP is just missing or if it just, I'm assuming it means HP. Either way, it restores their HP. His in-spirit is Palatial Power, which causes all stats to rise. He's a decent healer. His ability, it's not a very useful ability, at least concerning competitive play. I'm going to put him below Green Gramps. All right, now we have Ghostess. She's a rank A with an HP of 242. Strength is 43. Spirit 175. Defense 91. Speed 112. Her ability is Extra Mile, which lengthens the time charms are effective. That's a pretty good ability. Her attack is 1-2 punch. Hits twice for base power 25. She's got Paradise. Her ultimate is going the extra mile with a base power 120, restores all allies HP, and her in-spirit is in good hands, all stats rise. That mixed with her extra mile ability is pretty good. So she's a nice healer here. Would I waste an A rank slot on her? You know what? I might. Because her ability is pretty good. It's pretty unique. And she's a decent healer. And she also has an in-spirit that will go well with her ability. So she's pretty good here. You know what? I'll give her a low A rank. All right, now we have Papa Bolt. So he's an A rank with an HP of 289, Strength 60, Spirit 182, Defense is 94, Speed is 71, and his ability is Strict. All allies are less likely to loaf. So that's a decent ability, but if you're really concerned about your allies loafing, then sure, why not? His physical is Practice Punch, which has a base of 70. His technique is Voltage, base power 70. His ultimate is a Father's Scorn, which has a base power of 148 and hits the back two rows. And his ultimate is, his in-spirit is Dad Support, which gives a strength boost. Decent special attacker here. He's got a strength boost, which is okay. His ability could be kind of useful. So he's decent. Would I waste an A rank slot? Maybe not. I'm going to put Papa Bolt above Supersize Gramps. Alright, now we have Papa Bolt's recolor, Uncle Infinite. So he's an S rank. His HP is 304, Strength 157, Spirit 157, his defense is 72, and his speed is 37. His ability is Intimidation, which means no yokai will loaf. So again, double-edged sword. Your yokai won't loaf, but the enemies won't either. He has Practice Punch, Voltage. His ultimate is Table Flip, which has a base power of 140 and hits the column in front. And his in-spirit is Uncle Shout, which also gives a strength boost. This is kind of interesting because I'd think you'd almost want Uncle Infinite to be a physical attacker. But it doesn't really matter because his strength and spirit stat are the same. Would I use an S rank slot on him? Probably not. As far as attackers go, he seems to be pretty basic. I think I'm gonna put him right above doubles. Okay, now we have Mama Aura. Mama Aura's an A rank. Her HP is 267, Strength 50, Spirit of 176, and Defense of 84. Her speed is 106, and her ability is Prayer, gradually restores HP for linked yokai. She got Slap, Paradise, and her ultimate is A Mother's Love, gradually restores HP for all allies, and her in spirit is Mama's Worth, gradually restores HP. So we get a decent healer here. Gradually restores HP, Paradise, the whole shebang. Would I use an A rank slot? I'd consider it. She's a pretty basic healer though, so we'll see. I'm gonna put her above Tattle Cakes. All right, now we have Anti-Heart, which is a recolor of Mama Aura. She's an S rank, so we'll see if she deserves that S rank. Her HP is 251, Strength is 62, her Spirit is 191, her Defense is 99, and her Speed is 90. She has the same ability. She has Slap, Paradise, and her ultimate is Loving Ante, which revives and heals allies. And her in spirit is Auntie's Love, which is a defense boost. So this is interesting. Now we have the first yokai in the Heartful tribe who can actively revive yokai. And being able to revive yokai is extremely powerful. So I would definitely use an S rank slot on Anti-Heart. Is going to be our first S tier. I would, she's an S rank, and I would definitely use an S rank slot because, being able to revive a yokai is pretty powerful. All right, now we have Kieran, who is also an S rank. His HP is 298, Strength 56. His Spirit is 83. His Defense is 82. Wait, his Spirit is 183. My bad. Defense 82. Speed 103, and his ability is Second Wind, restores chunk of HP to an ally in need. His attack is Chomp, Paradise. His ultimate is Kieran's Cry, which fully restores all of allies' HP. And his in spirit is Rest Aura, which will gradually restore HP. He's pretty fine. Would I use an S rank slot for him? Maybe not. I don't know. I'm a bit on the fence because he does fully restore allies' HP instead of just a certain amount, which can be useful. And the Second Wind ability, I've used it before. It's all right. It's not the best ability in the world. I would definitely take Prayer over it. I think I'm gonna put him above Tungus and below Pearly White. Alright, now we have Unikiran, which is a recolor of Kiran. He's also an S rank, has an HP of 309, his strength is 72, spirit 175, his defense is 87, his speed is 109. He has the same ability, attack, technique. His ultimate is Horn of Plenty, which fully restores all allies' HP, and his in spirit is Healing Horn, gradually restores all HP. Pretty much a better version of Kieran. So I think that makes Kieran irrelevant, unfortunately. And, it's pretty much just the same yokai. So Unikieran is just going to replace Kieran. So Kieran is irrelevant. Now we have Unikieran, who will go in the same spot as Kieran, between Pearly White and Nurse Tungus. Alright, now we have Double Time. So Double Time is an S rank with an HP of 267, Strength is 96, Spirit is 118, Defense 34, Speed is 190. If you couldn't tell, his thing was being fast. His ability is interesting. It's Pair of Heals. Restorative techniques heal 2 yokai at once. I'm pretty sure this only works for Double Time, right? Like if you had another healer on your team, I don't think their restorative techniques will heal 2 yokai at once. Same for the enemy team. His attack is Bone Crusher. His technique is Paradise. His ultimate is Too Fast Lull, which hits for a base power of 160, and it goes in an X shape on the opponent's board. His in spirit is Speed Up, which obviously is a speed boost. So he's not like a dedicated healer, which is interesting. His ultimate, I'm pretty sure, is physical, and he has a speed boost. So it's a little weird. Is he deserving of an S rank spot? Probably not. I guess I'll put him above Intune. that seems like a pretty low spot for him, but you know, there's better healers even with the ability. You know what? I'll put him above Got It Made too. Okay, now we have Sonic Bam, which is the recolor. He's still an S rank. HP 259. His strength is 121. Spirit 83. Defense 27. Speed 2010. What? Speed 210. He has the same ability, which is a bit strange because he's more of a physical attacker than a spirit attacker or a healer. Same attack, same technique. His ultimate is Flying Dolphin. It's essentially the same thing. Base power 160, hits in an X shape. And his in spirit is Sonic Stance, which is a strength boost. I definitely think he's worse than Double Time. Not doesn't make Double Time irrelevant because he has a different niche because of his higher strength stat, but definitely worse because now he's not really a healer, he's more of an attacker, which is a bit strange. I'm gonna put him below Lazy Sunday, honestly, in the C rank, and above Mr. Sandman. Okay, now we have Starwin. We are out of the normal Heartful Tribes section in the Medallion, and now we're doing the miscellaneous Heartful Tribes. So this is one of the 3 Pioneer yokai in the game. He's an S rank, his HP is 269, Strength 36, Spirit 177, Defense 147, and Speed is 97, a lot of 7s. His ability is Deep Thinker, boosts stats slightly when waiting to move, his move timer is 5. He's got Tackle, Paradise. His ultimate is Galapagos Grace, which is a base power of 120 and restores allies' HP. And his in spirit is Scientific Method, which gives a spirit boost. Now, it's honestly pretty surprising that this is the first spirit boost in spirit that we've seen on the list, because a spirit boost will actually allow him to heal more HP. So it's a pretty good in spirit. He's got a decent ability and some decent stats. Is he deserving of the S rank spot? Maybe, but I think there's some better healers. I'm gonna put him above Mama Aura. Alright, next we have Flash T Cass. So Flash T Cass is an S rank. His HP is 455, which is pretty massive. His strength is 42, spirit is 175, his defense is 59, his speed is 122. His ability is Healthy Balance, boosts spirit based on how high HP is, which is pretty good considering his pretty high HP stat. And, it'll scale less. Whereas if he had like only 200 HP, this ability probably wouldn't be as useful. He's got Bone Crusher, Paradise. His ultimate is Money from Heaven, boosts all stats for all allies. And his in spirit is Millionaire Misbelief, tosses money, which causes an opponent to toss money. Is he worthy of an S rank spot? I don't know. Maybe not. His ability is pretty good, but he's not super healing focused. I'm gonna put him above Odyssey Neon. Okay, now we have Elder Bloom here. Elder Bloom is one of the OG legendary healers. He's an S rank, HP 245, Strength 272. His Spirit is 205, his Defense is 82, Speed 120. His ability is Caring, gradually restores HP for Link Yokai. He's got Head Smack, Paradise. His ultimate is Full Bloom, revives all allies and restores their HP. And his in spirit is Miracle Blossom, which is a speed boost. Definitely an upgrade from Auntie Heart, I'd say. Okay, I mean, he'd definitely be an S tier. You know what? I'm gonna put him below Auntie Heart because I think I'd prefer the defense boost over the speed boost. Alright, now we have Sweatus. So Sweatus is a C rank. Their HP is 207, Strength is 45, Spirit is 148, Defense is 80, Speed is 100. Their ability is Good Hydrations, absorbs water damage, and restores HP. It's a pretty niche ability. They got Slap, Restore. Their ultimate is Salad Days Again, boosts all stat of all allies. And their in spirit is Lively Lettuce, boosts all stats for an ally. They're fine. I mean, their ability is a bit niche, but if it works, it could work. I'm gonna put him, I think, above Fandango or Fundango. All right, now we have Mr. Blueshy, and no, he's not hanging himself. He's it's a Japanese doll. It's not what it looks like. He's a rank C. His HP is 252. His strength is 34. Spirit 138. Defense 74. Speed 113. Their ability is waterproof. Reduces water damage for all allies. Um, I think that's a little better than Sweatus's. He's got Head Smack, Rapids. His ultimate is a turn for the better. It's got a base power of 90, and it heals all allies and boosts their stats, which is pretty decent. And his Inspirit is Blue Shy Thinking, which allows an enemy to not be able to attack or anything. So he's kind of decent. He reduces water damage, and he's got a nice healing ability, but he also has the special attacking Rapids thing. So it's a bit strange. I'm going to put him below Hungorge and above Reversa. Okay, now we have Amplify. She's a rank A, HP of 299. Her strength is 49, spirit is 200, defense 89, speed 59. Her ability is amped up, ever so slightly boosts stat for Link YoKai, which is fine, I guess. It says ever so slightly, which leads me to believe it's not that much. She's got Pesky Poke, Paradise. Her ultimate is Grand Spectacular, which has a base power of 90, restores allies HP, and her Inspirit is Buzzin', which causes an enemy to toss money. So probably wouldn't waste an A slot on her. There's some better healers here, but for what she does, she's decent. I think I'm gonna put her below Predictable. Actually, I'm gonna put her above Predictable. Okay, we have Alteria now. She's a rank A. Her HP is 267, strength 36, spirit 164, defense 101, speed 113. Her ability is self-serving, recovers HP for self when healing others. It's a pretty nice ability. I've used it before. It's not like a lame amount of HP. It's pretty decent. It's around 60 to 70. She's got Slap Paradise. Her ultimate is Heavenly Heal, which revives allies and restores their HP, which is pretty good. And her Inspirit is Rapturous Redress. An enemy won't be able to move. Alteria is pretty good. She's pretty hard to get, though. You have to get the first prize on a Heavenly Excitement coin, which I don't know if you can even find them in the game. You need to scan QR codes for them. And they're pretty few and far between. I was pretty lucky to get her on one of my 4 Heavenly Excitement coins. She's pretty difficult to get. I'm gonna put her in S tier, but she gets like a lower S tier because her availability is not very good. All right, here we have Fukurokuju, one of the 7 heavenly gods, I think it is. He's an S rank. HP is 262, strength 68, spirit 207, defense is 87, speed 109, and his ability is longevity, revives an ally once. I mean, come on. If it's an ability, it's pretty good. He's got Slap Paradise. His ultimate is Bright Blessing, revives allies and restores their HP. And his Inspirit is Fukurokuju's Favor, gradually restores HP. This guy's pretty much the perfect healer. I don't know if I really need to say anything about this. It should be pretty obvious how freaking good this is. Pretty obvious that he's going right to the top of S tier. No questions asked. Pretty good healer. All right, now we have Comic Genius. He's an S rank. HP is 320, strength 34, spirit 150, defense 145, speed 57. His ability is Impenetrable. Boosts defense if anyone scatters money. So I guess that gives a use to all the yokai with the scatter money in spirit that I said was useless. Whoops. His attack is Earth Splitter, 70. He's got Tornado. His ultimate is Pulling Power, boosts all stats of all allies, and his ability is Cat-like Reflexes with a defense boost. His ability is pretty niche. You'd have to set up a team of yokai with that money tossing ability. And here's the thing with that in spirit. it's not instant like the debuff ones. You'd have to wait a little for a yokai to actually toss the money, right? And in that time, that yokai could be purified. So, I'm not sure how good this is. I definitely wouldn't waste an S rank slot on him for that reason. His, you know, his technique leaves something to be desired, and Sultimate's fine, I guess. Inspirit's fine. I'm gonna put him above Tongue Twister and below Afronaut. All right, next we have Alpina. She's an S rank. Her HP is 318. Her strength is 43. Spirit 152. Defense 146. Speed 66. Her ability is Mountain's Harvest. Heal an ally when moving from sub to main. Okay. So on the battlefield, you can only have 3 yokai at a time. That's your main area. You have 3 more yokai though, like sitting on the bench, if you will. They're pretty much sitting on the bench, and that's the sub area. So if Alpina moves from the bench to the main area, it'll heal an ally, which is it's an extra heal. So she's got Smackdown Paradise. Her ultimate is Blooming Health. All allies are revived and healed, and her in Spirit is Alpine Guard. Gradually restores HP. So she can revive people. So that's an instant S tier. But the thing with her is she's Tempura exclusive. So not everyone's going to be able to get her. But I'm going to put her below Elder Bloom. All right, our final yokai of the day, Nyanzi's the Second. He's an A rank. HP 286, Strength 32, Spirit 175, Defense 91, Speed 154. His ability is Gift of the Gods, prevents linked yokai from being jinxed. That's a pretty good ability. Again, it's like Miraculous Scales. They won't be able to get inspirited, but they can still be targeted, which is pretty good. Unfortunately, Nyanzi himself is still susceptible to being inspirited. He's got Sharp Claws, Paradise. His ultimate is Pacifier Power, which is 180 base power at max, and he restores allies HP. His in spirit is Infantilize, which makes strength go way down. So it's a decent strength debuff. But being able to prevent a maximum of 2 yokai from being inspirited, and he's got some decent healing, it's pretty good. Would I use an A rank slot? I would use an A rank slot actually. I'd consider it. There are again some better healers, but I would consider putting him in an A rank slot. I think I'm gonna put him below Ghostus in A tier. And that is our whole tier list. So that is all 80 Heartful Tribe yokai ranked. So I hope you enjoyed. I know this was pretty long, but I'm doing an analysis on 80 yokai here. All right. So I hope you enjoyed. Feedback in the comments is welcome. I might switch some things around at the beginning of the next analysis episode. Not sure which tribe is next, but I'm sure it doesn't matter too much. All right. Thanks for watching. See ya.